Loading. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken as legal advice. Welcome back, everybody. It's Happy Thursday. Geez, the week goes by really, really fast, but I'm glad that everybody is here today for the important topic of what we will be discussing, which is living in the private A to Z. A to Z. What does it look like when you're living in the private? What's the realistic expectations of how you're going to be living, how you're going to be operating, and how you're going to be treated by financial institutions realistically? I've been living in the private myself for, just about 7 years now since I started with business trust. So I want to give you guys some enlightenment of not only what we do here at the Academy, but with all the students of the Academy on what they're able to accomplish and do for themselves. The exciting update just right off the bat is that you found us on YouTube. And if you haven't currently subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit the notification and the subscribe button so you don't miss out on all these amazing updates and the latest information as it pertains to being in the private. In addition with that, if you would like to get a hold of any of our representatives on our website, you can go to creditoracademy.com and fill out the Contact Us form. You can email us with our email address that's posted on our website, which is counselor@creditoracademy.com. Or my favorite, and actually, I don't know any other organization that has this. I will stand corrected if someone brings it to my attention, but we have a hotline number. It's Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give us a call. A representative will tell you everything about the Academy and what we can do for you. And we'd be excited to talk to you. Really, it's really exciting when new people come to the Academy. Because it's like a family here. And I love seeing the family here in our lives as well as in our live courses. So first thing that I want to cover is congratulations to those who who got their personal credit restored here. We had an amazing story just this last week of an individual who had 500 in their credit score. They had bankruptcies, late payments on previous credit cards, and that really surmount to a lot of debt. They, just like many others, since we've started this program here at Creditor Academy with restoring people's personal credit, so then you have the freedom in order for you to operate with your finances to cover groceries, for you to be able to get into new housing situations or new apartment situations. Or maybe it is that, hey, Paul Michael, I just need remedy right here, right now. How can you help me? You know, you can't make good decisions when you're desperate. You can't. It's better for you to come to our organization and us to discharge your problems first, so then you have the mental clarity to pay attention in class, because there's a lot of information that we cover in class. You know, when I was in nursing school, you know what's really frustrating is being in class, looking at the clock on the wall, waiting for class to end so I can rush down to Safeway, get a quick sandwich so then I can make it to my full-time job, in which I'm stressed because I got to do that full-time job because I got to pay for the overhead of my living circumstances. I'd rather you not do what I went through. Everything in life experience is to do things differently if we could, but wisdom is teaching others how to not fall into the same situation you did or what you learned from. So take it from me. You do not want to go to our academy or through life with credit issues when as little as 30 to 40 days, all your credit issues can be resolved, okay? So we have representatives, a part of the academy, that are here to sit with you one-on-one with your personal circumstance, and let's fix those negative reports that are on there. If you have anything in life where you're paying too much in interest because your personal credit is really suffering, you may want to address that first. The second thing is I want to talk very clearly about the academy and the direction that we're going. Is Creditor Academy is not only here to support you on your transformative journey in learning how to operate in the private and thrive in the private, but we're also here to teach you about credit, People who come to the academy don't have money problems, they have credit problems. That's why we're Creditor Academy. You learn about the credit system, and then you won't have the financial problems or issues like you do that you may have currently in life. And the reason why I say that is I remember in nursing school, I would call up, Mom, I need some money. I really need some cash. I'm struggling here in class, and I'm a little behind on my bills. And I remember my mom saying, well, you're going to pay me back, right? And I was like, yeah, maybe, but most likely not, right? And I don't know if you've ever asked money from your parents before. It's not embarrassing or anything like that, but it's kind of like when you're living on your own, you'd rather not have that conversation, because what do you got to do with mama? You got to play the game. Mom, how's it going? How are you? Oh, how is it at the hospital? Wow, your friends are doing great. Tell me more about that. So anyways, I need some cash real quick, just a little advance. So then who becomes the person you can go to in the private? It's the banks. Banks are now mama and dad that you can go to. And let me tell you, you don't have to beat around the bush with the banks and credit cards. You can be very forthcoming, and you be very direct in what your attentions are. And, you know, when they extend you credit limits, you can utilize it for your business or your personal to the absolute maximum. And, you know, there's things that happen in life that make us behind on payments with our credit. And that is not supposed to be a stain on who you are for the rest of your life. Remember, money doesn't exist. This whole credit system that Patrick Devine was discussing, that we went over in the last week's call, was all about this credit system that we were born into. So there's nothing personally against you. It's just the system on how it's set up. It's a game. It's monopoly money. And all you need to do is just learn the rules of the game, and you'll be able to be self-sustaining for the rest of your life, you know. And you too could teach your kids and family members how they can thrive on themselves, so then they can have the most amount of success and benefits in their future. Also, we're going to go over updates in America. Wow. I don't know if you've been keeping up with all of the things that have been going on, but turns out there was a lot of government corruption going on. There was so much. There's this organization that's being led in the United States called DOGE. They are really cleaning house with a lot of organizations. I'm excited to see such justice being brought upon these individuals who were corrupt and not doing the best interests of our country. But you know what I find is funny is when they get caught in their corruption, they really start to go like make excuses for what they're being caught for, right? I remember it was kind of like, you ever have like ladies, have you ever like met a guy and like you went through their phone because you were kind of suspicious about what your boyfriend was doing or who he was texting or who he was Snapchatting to, right? And you go through the phone and you say, hey, I was right on my suspicion. What is this? What is this? And instead of them talking about what they did on that Snapchat or that girl they were messaging to, what do they make it all about? Why are you on my phone? What? How are you? I thought you were supposed to trust me. What is this? Like, I thought we were supposed to have mutual respect. Not going, and they just make it all about the phone that you caught them. It's the same thing with that. I'm excited about the government corruption being caught because this means the country is more efficient. It means it's more efficient and better services, both public and private, are then coming down, as well as business, specifically Canada. I have a meeting this weekend with 120 Canadians, amazing Canadians that are going to be coming into the United States due to the recent updates that we're having with negotiations with Canada. We'll see how that plays out. But it becomes a more open market to Canadians if we are able to have a mutually beneficial constitutional relationship where we come together as one nation. Huge for military support. But I don't want to talk and focus on just Canada. I want to talk about the whole world for a moment, because there's a lot of people viewing from Ireland, the UK, Australia, different parts of Europe, and even Ukraine and Russia as well. Just because you don't live in the United States does not mean that you cannot benefit from our capitalistic credits. Okay, so follow me on this one. So in America, we have all of these advantages when it comes to deal with credit. What is credit? Credit is it's just a means of exchange of monetary value that's backed by nothing. That's really what credit is. It's backed by, it's imaginary. It's set by the strength of the dollar, which is probably by mostly oil, resources, minerals, and so on, and confidence. A lot of it is confidence. Stock market is based off of a lot about confidence. So based off of the value of this perceived dollar is how we're extended credit in our different credit limits. We had a huge crash here in 2008 where credits or at the Treasury Department were totally upside down. I was talking to a financial advisor at Chase Bank this last week about that, just getting a re-up on that history lesson. And interest rates were really low. People were selling. People couldn't build up their credit like they used to, because back then you get to just say, oh, I make this much, and they would extend you any line of credit that you want. They have changed that system. However, there's still huge benefits with it. You can get massive amounts of credit lines still in America. And here's the beautiful part, is if your country accepts something called Visa or MasterCard, the credit that you build in the United States, you can bring to your country. Let me say that again. The credit you build in the United States without being a citizen, but just operating in the United States in the private with private entities, you can then take that credit to your own country. That is huge, because a lot of you do not have the same opportunity. None of you have. I don't have to say anything. America is the only place. America is the only place. It's kind of like America is like the shining city on the hill. It really is. It is. We're based off as a Christian nation, and our popularity only came through our constitutional laws that were backed by the most powerful engine for business in the world, which is capitalism. So the Constitution and capitalism is what created this atmosphere for you to develop credit at extremely high levels and be able to make it transferable anywhere in the world. Why is it transferable anywhere in the world? The unfortunate story is that the banking cartel has taken over most of the world. And it has. The same banking cartel that's in America is in Europe, the UK, Ireland, Australia, and so on. But that being so, this is why those credits are transferable to your region. So how do you use this to your advantage? How do you go about building a business empire for yourself in credit and transfer it to your country for your local benefits? This is as simple as operating with private entities like business trusts or private membership associations. Business trusts are the most powerful tool for operating in the private. But it's more than just a template of an indenture agreement or a declaration of trust document. Rather, it's a strategy that combines private operations with fiscal credit, also other strategies together in order for you to not only benefit in credit, but also reduce your liability, reduce your taxes, reduce your government oversight, totally eliminate the statutory regulations of the United States over how you're operating. So at Creditor Academy, we combine the two. This is called Operate Privately, and our Trade Lines course, Build Private Credit. And we combine those together as part of the Academy, and we show you step-by-step how to do that. We have some people in the UK right now where we got their business trusts, which they all ask the same thing. Oh, Michael, these business trusts, they use the Constitution and the common law. Can I use them in my country? In some cases, yes. In some cases, it varies. But they work phenomenally in the United States because they're backed by case law. This is American Jurisprudence, the second edition, volume 13, on what? Business trusts. Business trusts. That's a freebie right there. You guys want to know what it's all about, running business trusts and how many advantages you get by operating in the private with these trusts in America? Read this. You know what this is? This is a Rockefeller manual. This is all just Rockefellers going to the Supreme Court saying, I want to do this, 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 and that, and I don't want you to bother me. And it's just the approval of everything that they requested among other individuals who have also built upon it. So you got business trust. Now what else do you need? You need to be federally recognized by the United States. If you don't have federal recognition of your business trust or your business entity, then you can't have no business operating here. And this is where an EIN number comes into play, okay? EIN number is federal recognition. Kind of like your IDs, right? The passport is your federal ID recognition. Your driver's license is the state recognition of your identification. And through Creditor Academy, through our Become Private program, we have our private form of identification, okay? Identifications are contracts. Your business trust is a contract with yourself in the private. And the federal government recognizes your private status, and then you just choose to operate privately with that. You can open up bank accounts in America. You can get credit and trade lines in America, all of which you can take advantage of our capitalist market. So yeah, it's huge there. The other thing is for those of you in Australia, the UK, Ireland, and abroad, one of the big questions is Paul Michael, that sounds really great. Sounds really great to Americans too. But I feel like there's a catch. I feel like it's really that good to be true. I just get all this credit. I just bring it over to mama's house, and then we just go on vacation together. What's the deal? What's the trade-off? Can anybody tell me what that trade-off could possibly be? What do you think the government wants in exchange for you to have this ability to come on our land with these entities and take advantage of our capitalist credit environment? Who could tell me? Anybody have a guess?
Taxes.
You got it. It's taxes. It's always taxes. It's always taxes, man. They want the government cheese. And can you blame them? I don't. I'm not mad at it at all, actually. It's just by way of which business is conducted. Nothing is for free. So now you start thinking to yourself, well, Michael, all right, I could build a couple 100,000 in a couple months off your program, but geez, the government cheese that's going to be requested of me, how do I deal with that? I don't know how I would go about satisfying such a large debt. How would I go about it? Well, this is where the other program at Creditor Academy comes in, which is Become Private. We went over operating in the private and building private credits, but this is where Become Private comes into play. Just like the Americans who have their treasury accounts and have done their status correction, they're utilizing their accounts, their bonds, in order to fulfill the debts that they owe to the IRS. Simple as that. You know, it's always easy for me when I go on my Chase account to satisfy the debt that I have on one of my credit cards by transferring money from one account to that account when I already have all of my money at that bank, right? It's a little bit more of a different process. I have to open up a different app like Wells Fargo. I have to log into there. I got to do a wire transfer and give them all but when you're in the ecosystem of Chase, they make it really simple. All your accounts are connected, right? So moving money around is simple. Same thing with the Treasury and the IRS. They're part of the same system, okay? They're different. They have different functions. One's the regulatory oversight, where one is the financial oversight, but they work together. So when you create an account with them that they can pull up in 2 seconds, it's easy to fulfill the financial obligation of what they're requesting in taxes. Why is that beneficial? Why is that beneficial? Because as Patrick Devine said, it's all about banking. It's all about banking. And when you are operating as a private banker, you got to know how to communicate and correspond with other banks. Every bank wants 3 things from you, and you can grab whatever you want out of the bank. One, they're going to want to know that you're responsible. They want to know if you're responsible. So you need a good credit score. Credit score is really the only thing that they can go off of to show that you're financially responsible. When you have a good credit score by paying your payments on time, that's why the major utilization of the pie chart for credit is your payment history, and you're able to show a good income. Then there's only one thing that you need to put everything for the underwriters together perfectly, and that's taxes. That's taxes. If you have those 3 ingredients to any bank, let me tell you, you're going to be a bank's best friend. And your banker connections are going to come a lot easier because you're establishing a relationship that's very professional, very professional. And then just go live your best life, you know, go make investments, go purchase things, whatever it might be that you think is going to grow your net worth for your family and give you financial independence. And instead of, in the future, you can't afford something, don't say, Mom, real quick. No, instead of, take care of your finances by dealing with the bank yourself. Saying, okay, I need to fix my credit myself, which is really just based down to one thing. It's communication. Communication over the phone and through letters. If you do communication through the phone and through letters about the situation, it will get resolved and removed. It's that simple. It's that simple. So that was the kind of high level discussion about what it's like being in the private. You wake up in the morning, you operate everything through an entity. Even your phone is through an entity. You conduct business and through everyday life. You know, when you go to the grocery store and you ever have somebody that meddled in your business, or maybe you're meddling in someone else's affairs, what do they say? Hey, this is none of your business, right? They kick you out. You know, they're trying to tell you to go away. When you go to the grocery store and you buy things, you're doing business and commerce. Same thing with restaurants. Same thing when you're cash apping or paying bills. You're conducting business all the time. Life is commerce. Life is moving the money around and circulating. And that's what makes entire nations operate effectively for their people. So you want to always be operating in commerce. So with that being said, you need to do the same thing. You need to operate in commerce. You need to spend, and you need to also start thinking about what you've been doing in life. Like I said, wisdom and experience takes a while to teach others. Don't take all of the wisdom and knowledge that you've developed in your life and not showcase it. You have to showcase everything that you know. And you need a monument to your knowledge and professionalism to be showcased to the whole world. Who knows what the #1 engine for showcasing your knowledge to the whole world is? Anybody tell me?
A business?
Nope, not a business. How do you showcase your knowledge, your wisdom, your education?
The internet.
Closer. What's on the internet?
YouTube.
Man,
kind of apps.
Not everybody has a YouTube.
Social media.
Social
Websites.
media.
Close. A lot of people have. What is it, Latrice?
I said social media. No.
Close. You're so close, but not quite there. What? Who else has a guess? What is the #1 way to showcase your knowledge, wisdom, and services even to the world? Stephen Bell, let's go to you. What is
communication?
Communication. Where?
Okay. You
All right.
gotta express it. You gotta talk about it.
You got to talk about it. Where's the best place to communicate everything that you know?
AI.
And even monetize it. What is it, David?
I said AI. In the public.
In the public. Okay.
Website.
Keep on going. There you go. That's it. It's a website. Oh, man. Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate it. It is a website. That's back in the 90s, man. Remember how long ago? Was that before the 90s? Maybe I'm not old enough to remember. But it's a website. Your whole life, you should be pouring into a website about your profession. It's where you showcase your knowledge. Just a lot of you don't know how to monetize that. You might be saying, okay, I put all the knowledge up there, but how do I make money off of that? But a website is absolutely crucial if you want to operate in the private. Banks will not approve you in your business trust without a website. Underwriters won't approve you without a website. Even my private merchant processing. Now, we have exclusively a Creditor Academy. We're a merchant processor now, where we guarantee we'll never shut you down. You can do as many transactions as you want. We will accept your business trusts, your private entities. I don't even need to see a statutory business, but we will not accept you in moving forward if you don't have a website. It is the status quo. It is. This is why part of the Creditor Academy, when you do the whole program with us, everybody gets a website. We built it in. So we have UX, UI designers. We have back-end designers for websites, the software developers. I'm taking very seriously websites, because when you start really thinking about these entities and you're like, man, I want to build up a ton of credit in America and take advantage of that, and I want to do this for a lot of different entities that I want to create and move all this stuff around, you need a website to communicate not only the services, but the professionalism of what you're offering. You need it. If you have never built a website before, let me tell you, it's a lot more difficult than you think. I've been working on my website a long time, and yet I'm going to go through another transition with it again. But I drive my team of 20 staff every day. We have a morning meeting at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we discuss all the 7 departments. And the biggest department that I invest the most amount of money in for staff is the website team. It is. And it's very serious. It's very serious. It affects you a lot. So that is what I at least wanted to mention. If you don't have a website, or if you're getting into that, you know, as part of the academy, we want to make sure that this is an all-in-one inclusive academy plus services. You get to become private. You learn everything about operating privately, and we set you up for your trade lines with everything that you need to build your private entity's profile. Yeah, it's all included in there. We want you to succeed. We really do. We really do. So we did that. There are hundreds of things to learn in this truth movement. There's lots of books to read, and there's a lot of YouTube channels that you could go to even as well. But let me tell you, you need your foundation. If you have a firm foundation of just this skill set of becoming private, operate privately, and build private credit, you can follow any other guru thus thereafter and try as many processes as you want, because you have a firm foundation to leapfrog into doing different things. So with that being said, I will conclude. That is everything about, you know, being in the private. I will now go over to questions. Crazy. Let's go to you.
What happens if
Crazy.
you don't have a website? Because I don't have.
We'll build one for you.
I don't have a business or any skills. I'm on disability, and I'm just trying to correct my status.
That's a great question.
I got student loans and stuff like that. Now, when I correct my status, basically, am I already tapped into the account because I get Social Security? So if this has been set up,
you're tapped in the account as long as you can operate in the private and know how to utilize the credit, right? Because it's not just creating the account. You really, at the end of the day, Crazy, you don't care about the account. You care about the credit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already been accounted for.
And yeah, right. So creating an account at the Treasury is just one step. It's like walking into the bank and be like, wow, I created an account at Chase. Am I a millionaire now? No. Now you gotta learn how to utilize your accounts with different business entities and credit.
Yeah, and fund the account. Okay.
And funding account. I mean, funding account is different. You don't, in most cases, you don't even have to fund the account. If you have a good credit score and a great credit utilization, you don't need funding at all. You'll get funding for that. But I want to answer your first question that you kind of brought up, because it is really an important one. And that is, Paul Michael, you might be able to get me a website, but what do I put on it? What skill set, especially if you've been an employee for 10, 20, 30 years.
Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be business services. It could be like your background or your life story. And who knows what could be created.
A lot of people do consulting. A lot of people do consulting. Yeah.
I get you. Okay.
So let me ask you this, Crazy. What life experience do you have that you think that you could share with the world that would benefit the younger generation?
Addiction.
Addiction? Tell me about it.
Uh, Basically, I was involved in a very bad motor vehicle accident in 2009. I almost died. I was on life support. I suffered a traumatic brain injury, collapsed lung, a bruised heart, swollen ligament in my neck. My right arm was paralyzed. Liver and spleen surgery. I broke both of my legs. I had my jaw wired shut. That was my jaw. And I basically had to bring myself back from nothing. You know what I mean? From using drugs. And that's, I could share that story with other recovering addicts that are trying to, you know what I mean? Recover. And
Yeah.
that's like a good, I look at that as a good experience. I'm grateful that I have a little sister because of my addiction. She doesn't use drugs. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
because of what I went through, I can, you know what I mean, give others my experience, strength, and hope.
No doubt. Not only that, but you're saving a life. Was it the hospital system that put you on those drugs in the first place?
No, it was more of growing up and experimenting. When I was in high school, I don't know how old you are, but I'm out here in Nevada, and there's this thing called the Millennium Scholarship, and if I would have followed that, I would have graduated high school with an associate's degree in business management. But I chose the street life instead. So,
Oh, wow. How much could that change somebody to know your story and to know the look? It seems like to me that a lot of people just, is it like people are involved just in the moment when they're doing drugs and not thinking about the future?
I've always said that human beings are the most easily manipulated beings in the universe. I feel like we can be led astray for like the easiest reasons. You know what I mean? Like how you're talking about all these fake gurus and all, you know, stuff like that. Like, I totally lost my train of thought. I apologize.
No. That's that is exactly true. Yeah, we live for the moment. We live for the moment. We follow something for the hope and the promise that something is going to be better now or tomorrow. And a lot of those things can have long-term consequences. I think really crazy that the people would benefit from your story. I mean, just to save one life with your own family member, that is something really huge to share with the world. I will, in some relation to you, my grandfather on my father's side worked for AA. He was an alcoholic for 23 years. And then he was a recovering alcoholic, as he called it. He says you never get over it, but he went to AA and led AA groups all over the country. He went over, started in Minnesota, then he went to California, then he went to Nevada and moved the family around a lot for that. But I got to tell you, the amount of people that showed up to that man's funeral, and I was like, how do so many people know my grandfather? It was because of the lives that were changed thereafter. And let me tell you, that's something to let people know about. And I think that that'd be a proud thing to showcase. Very proud thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
And
thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah,
we
no
hope
worries.
to have you at the academy. Absolutely. And fill out the contact us form, man. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I already did. When you said that about your structure of the structure of your trust or whatever, I already sent that in. And I tried to log in and register, but I'm having issues. Like I click on the register login button and it sends me to the login page.
Yeah, just fill out the contact us form. And as you're going to see, big changes with the website. It's developed. There's a lot of back end tech that is going into the website right now. So I'll be excited to launch that. But thank you. Adele, let's go to you.
Hey, Paul Michael. So yeah, you touched on the question I was going to ask. Obviously, I'm in the UK. I've started the SPC Done For You service. I also
Nice.
get them that I need to correct my status. So I need to put myself, as you say, on a square. But do I have to put myself on a
Yep.
on the same square that you guys stand on, the Republic kind of square, or
Yeah,
or one
there
in the
is.
UK?
Yeah, one in the UK, and the Republic, and your like a lot of the documentation as we outline is a lot of common law language, and we do have
Yeah.
constitutional language inside of there, and we work with every country to find laws, rules, or historical laws or constitutional laws that can better embolden your standing in your country. But any declaration of your rights and what it is that you're trying on what you want is important. When I go to a restaurant and I have the waiter come to me and I tell them what I want, when I go to school, I tell people what I want to become. When my parents ask me a question about what I want to do for today, tonight, or in the future, I always tell people what we want. It's interesting to me that we can tell everybody what we want every day, except we've never told the government what we want and how we want to be treated. It's always just been this, I'm going to sit here and I assume that you're going to have my best interests at heart. And it's amazing that we made no effort in trying to assert our rights on what we want. What do you think about that?
Yeah, totally. I totally
Mhm.
agree. And so so I was watching one of your YouTubes, and you said it's really, really important that the SPC paperwork is filled in accurately, because you could be getting
Right.
yourself into legal problems if not. So that's why I'm going to do the Done For You service. Do you also have a Done For You
Yes.
service for the status correction, just to give me a bit of help?
It's both included. When you pay for the Done For You service, it includes the SBC
Oh,
and the status correction.
brilliant.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I've got one more question. So
Please.
I'm gonna book Ryan tomorrow because my credit was trashed with an unsuccessful previous administrative process that didn't work. Trashed my personal credit score. So for me, cash flow is really, really the utmost priority. So I understand that I have to get a business trust going to start building trade lines, but is there any way I can kind of like fast track once I've corrected my status and got the SPC? Is there any kind of like way I can skip over the business trust and go straight into getting the business EIN and start building trade lines, and then once I've got some credit, go back and really dig into the business second course, the business trust course? Can I do it like that?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I get a lot of questions about that. Absolutely. I'm also going to tag team Ryan on this one. Ryan, thank you for being in class today. And, we have a lot to discuss and kind of cover, but I want to cover specifically, Adele, operating in the private. To operate a business in the private and attach a trade line to it, it's more than just an EIN, because when you go get your Dun and Bradstreet number, what are they going to ask for you? They're like, we need to see your business.
The
Well,
website, you
here's
mean?
my
The
EIN.
website. The
Right.
website, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not your website. Well, we'll
Right.
drop the website. What they're going to ask you for your Dun and Bradstreet number, for all the underwriters at the bank, for the merchant processing, even for an 800 number in some cases, they're going to see what? Articles. They want to see articles of incorporation. You're in the private. And when you're in the private, it's not a number. It's your documentation that's supporting your business operations. Articles of incorporation show the CEO, they show the board of directors, and they show the stockholders and how their relationship in business and communication is with one another. You need to show that same level of operation in the private as well. Otherwise, you're not going to get very far because there is no business to exist. Ryan, there was a second part to what Adele was talking about, if you could comment.
Good. Adele, howdy ho.
Hiya,
Happy to hear
hiya.
from you first off.
Yeah,
Howdy,
yeah. So I'm
howdy.
doing.
She's
Hi,
ready.
hiya. I'm doing the SPC. I'm really motivated. I want to do. I want to do the whole thing like ASAP. But my problem is because I did this. I did this administrative process with debt that failed, and so my credit score, my personal credit score, is completely trashed. So I'm basically living off cash. So what I'm saying is that I'm already paying for the SPC and the status correction, and then I was wondering, could I just like jump the second part and go straight to building trade lines, and then once I've got some credit, go back and invest in the business trusts course? But what it sounds like is no. So I think what I'll do is I'll book a consultation with you, Ryan. We need to get my personal credit fixed, and then I can unlock some credit to then invest in the second stage, the business trust, and just follow the process the way Paul Michael says: step one, step two, step three, and do them in the right order.
Sure.
Probably sounds.
Sounds good.
I just
It's an
think
easy
you just
answer.
answered my own. I
Yeah.
just answered my own question.
Great.
Yeah.
Go ahead and send me an email. We'll set it up.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, that is, but that's the exact order, because when I'm talking about, business in the private and using business credit, those two go together. But Adele, and this is kind of the reason why I want to have today's class is just, you don't have to do either one of those things to get your personal credit sorted away and get access to funding right
Yeah.
away. So a lot
Yeah.
of people, we just say, hey, let's get you in front of Ryan. Let's get you your remedy and on the right track. And so then you got some financial freedom now. And then you're right, come back to the
Yeah.
academy and do it in the full order on that. Ryan,
Yeah.
comments on what I'm saying?
Well, Adele's case is a little bit different as far as the personal credit, because she's overseas. I think she's in UK, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So So let's talk about it more privately. For American citizens, for sure. I mean, if you're an American citizen and you have issues with your personal credit, 100% you should get that resolved as soon as humanly possible. What comes to mind, so I was listening to what you're talking about, Paul Michael. I mean, I have so many references, but there's one consult I did with an individual last maybe 2 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago, and this guy was driving for Uber or Lyft. I think it was Uber.
Oh.
And he was saying that he rents his car. So he rents a car and then he drives for Uber with that rented car because his credit was shot. He had some bad decisions in the past. His credit was completely destroyed. And quite frankly, he didn't know what to do. So I asked him, I said, how much are you paying for the car? Like, what's your monthly payment? Because it can't be cheap to rent a car even on a monthly basis. He was paying $600 a month to rent a car.
What?
Well,
What? Get a BMW, man. Like, wow.
Right.
Jeez.
So
Ah.
if that individual would go out and even buy a car on credit, immediately he would save $300, $400, $500 just to go buy a car on credit. But a lot of times we just look at our credit reports, or we don't even know what our credit scores are, and we say, wow, well, I just can't do that. That's just in my mind, there's a block. That's just not available to me. And we write it off and we go live our lives with cash only. And we say, hey, maybe one day I'll get it sorted out, and you're just living your life off cash. People
that's pretty
don't
much
even
where I'm at
realize.
right now. I've bought into the lie that, well, that's me off the Monopoly board for another 3.5 years. When actually I need to like find a creative solution to this and get some credit ASAP. Yeah.
100% correct. Adele, doesn't matter what country you're from, a lot of people get stuck in this position. We think, hey, we made a mistake one time, or there's some issue, and I'm just stuck forever. 3.5 years. In the US, they say 7 years, right? So a lot of people, the reality of the situation is there are, Adele, I'm going to riff off in America, but it's different in UK. So in America, specifically, we have the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And this law, this statute, protects consumers for erroneous or things they did not explicitly authorize to show up on their credit report. So
I know.
in reality,
I sent Experian letters and I coded, like I used ChatGPT and I coded all the FRCA laws and they just came back and said they're American laws and they don't apply here. So
right.
like
Well, that's not going to work. So you have to find the yeah, exactly. That would
yeah,
not work because they're not. It's not the jurisdiction. So you have to find the comparable laws in the UK.
yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely your case for sure.
But is there any kind of
More,
like private process, like I can take a lien on them or some kind of more serious action I can take to just like threaten them to get it off my report?
you could
Basically,
try, but it's like what you're saying is like, hey, let me just throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
not really necessary. When you actually know what you're doing, it's very clear. You take more of a sniper shot approach, right? You
yeah,
aim, you prepare, take a deep breath, 1, 2, boom, take the shot, right? Because you know that this is going to have the result you want, not just guessing if it will work or not. And that's why you're going to reach out to me, and then we're going to, review your reports, and I'll let you know what we need to get started with you.
okay,
So most importantly, what I want to just drive home for you, Adele, and really everyone else on the call, just as a group, is just understand that, hey, you're not stuck. You're
yeah,
not stuck, right? You are able to fix this problem and you have all the power. Now, you might not know how to utilize that power yet. You might not even know that you have that additional, let's say, weaponry or ammunition. You might not even know that you actually can walk on the wall. You actually do have Spider-Man string in your arms. You might not
yeah,
even know that you have that, but I want to let you know that secretly you actually have that potential and just have not been awakened yet or utilized. Or like Michael was saying, you just never really even opened that dialogue and have the
yeah.
right type of conversation. So yeah, so I'm excited to work together, and then
Okay,
that's really
cool.
all I gotta say about that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll get that book tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, send me an email. It's Ryan at Creditor
I
Academy.
love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's as easy as a conversation, but yeah, the matrix is spending cash. Think about it. I remember going through nursing school. Paul Michael, it's $35 an hour. How about 36? No, we don't feel like that's the going rate for someone of your experience and all that. People will make you into the box that they want to put you in. There are 4 stages to this game that Ryan and I are trying to teach you the difference. First stage is you're an employee. You work for someone else and someone else's dream. The second is self-employed. That's where you use your own time, your own money for your own dream. Then there's an entrepreneur. You use other people's time, your own money for your dream. And then there's finally a capitalist, someone who uses other people's time, other people's money for your dream. And that's what we're trying to teach you here at Creditor Academy, is to be a sovereign, someone independent, separate from the for-profit corporation government that's having statutory overreach on your life, to be sovereign and a capitalist. So when you graduate the academy, you become that is the graduation term that we give you. You graduated as a sovereign capitalist, the highest accolade that you can have at the academy. Stephen Bell, let's go to you for comments or questions.
Yeah, so as far as the status for it, I still have not received the
Amazing. You can
yeah.
reach out to our reach out to counselor at Creditor Academy and a representative. Well, you know what? Have you tried our hotline number yet?
Yeah, I did both. Now, I was about to say was, but when they sent that, so when they sent me that package, I had to, put my information in. They never sent me any SPC anything. I didn't get any of that. So I said, you know what? I'll just take what I got for right now because I've already reached out to them already. So they're gonna get back to me. That's been almost a week ago. So I'm like, well, maybe they're busy or backed up or something. So I just took what they gave me and spilled it out as much as I can. So when I'm done, so I'm supposed to get it notarized on Thursday at a bank, Chase Bank. Before I send it out, I just send it back to you guys to do a double check on it, whatever, as far as status correction is concerned. Now, as far as the SPC, I didn't get any SPC anything. So I
Got
don't
you.
know.
Did you get the SPC program, because they are separate?
Say what? So I paid $498. I don't know what the price is. That's what I paid. So I don't know if it falls on that. I don't know. Hello? All right. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I cannot hear anything.
Oh, we
he's
can hear
saying.
I think he froze. Leave back in a
Okay.
second. That Washington internet.
You better tell me you get discharge that debt, man.
Wow,
That's what
that was
happens, man.
horrible
No,
timing. I'm
yeah.
sorry about that. that was just like, oh man. Steven, this is what we're going to do. Class is tomorrow. During class, we have a live representative that is our account manager who can take it live for you to help you out. Call our hotline number tomorrow. I'm going to leave a note for my account manager to follow up with you even before class tomorrow.
All right.
Perfect. But thank you for bringing that to my attention. Daniel, let's go to you.
Hey guys. So I do need to get with Ryan to work on my personal credit just so I can get that going. But let's say I were to do that. But if I don't have my taxes in order, that's going to be a problem if I go to the bank for a loan or credit or anything, right?
When you don't have your taxes in order, tell me about your taxes not being in order.
Well, I haven't paid taxes or filed taxes for like 7, 8 years.
Yeah, personally, right?
Right.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? You're in the private.
Well, not yet. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to do the status correction and the SBC first.
Then let's do that first, my friend, because I need you to stand on your square with some good communication. Okay.
Right.
We'll start with that first, and then we'll move back to that. How about that?
Well, actually, I can
good.
jump in. Paul Michael,
Oh, yeah,
not a problem.
Yeah, please.
Not a problem.
Please. Yeah.
Not a problem. All good. Yeah, you can repair your personal credit. They're completely unrelated. So
that is true.
No, I get it.
worry
I can
too much about that.
Yeah, no, I could start repairing my credit, and then by the time my SBC and everything else goes through and I get my taxes corrected, then my credit would be good to go by that time too, is what you're saying, right?
Well, here's the point that I'm trying to make with it. You definitely want to get all your ducks in a row, right? You have different things. You have your legal, all your registrations, your taxes, etc. The point that I want to make is that your SPC is going to take, what is it, Paul Michael, like 3 months, right, for them to return it. Mm-hmm. So the credit repair, depending upon your situation, also could take 30 to 60 to 90 days, right? So there is no condition by which you want to wait to get your personal credit repaired. Right. So there's let's say outside of being in the hospital, knock on wood, any other condition, it should be top 3 on your priority list is to get your personal credit done. So there's no when you go to the bank, they're not going to run your taxes. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to look and say, hey, oh, well, before we open up a checking account, let's see if this person has paid federal income tax. There's no, those two systems have zero communication with one another. So you are, there's not really any, a lot of times, here's the reality. So we look at like different systems in the world and we say, okay, well, how do these systems interact? So we think like, okay, well, this system talks to this. I'll give you one example, just in the credit game, just the illusion. And then I'll go over just 2 quick examples if it's okay. So one example is like, I use this a lot, but in the credit space. So a lot of people think that the lenders communicate with the agencies directly, right? So let's say you have some erroneous or derogatory accounts on your profile. A lot of people will naturally think, okay, well, what probably happens is the lender or the bank is going to contact the agency and say, hey, this person didn't pay, or this person has a bad record, or whatever it might be. And that's how the information gets put on your credit report. That's actually not how it works in the vast majority of cases. What happens is the lender, the bank, financial institution, whatever it might be, they put your information into public record. There's public databases. There's third party, we call them specialty reporting companies, and they actually hold that information. And then your main three agencies, they pull information from that public record, and that's how they put it on your credit report. So a lot of people have run into like, hey, you know, I pulled my report and they have like 20 addresses. I haven't lived there for 10 years. What is this address showing up on here for? And it's because they just go in public record, and whatever they pull like a Hoover. They just Hoover everything up and they just put it on your report. So, you know, that's number one. Number two is a lot of people, it's like the Wizard of Oz. So we've all seen the Wizard of Oz, right? Where like there's the guy behind the curtain, you know, he's doing that big booming voice, oh, whatever that his phrase is, I don't know, but he's using that big booming voice. And so we think like, okay, that booming voice must be associated with a giant of some kind. There must be some big 8-foot tall guy with his big lungs shouting out this big voice. But you pull back the curtain and it's like a little 5'2" guy with a suit on, right? It's like, it's not reality. So the credit reporting agencies, their only legal protection, the only thing they have going for them is your ignorance, is all of our ignorance. When you actually start to peel back and pull back that curtain and actually review the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, that what you start to notice is every legal protection is to protect you as the consumer. In fact, a good example, a good metaphor of the reality would be if you're in war, you would be in the foxhole, in the trenches. You would have every sort of weaponry available. You would have a machine gun, a grenade launcher, RPG, everything you could imagine, full ammunition, full weaponry, full Kevlar, every protection. You got a full army standing by your side. And then out on the battlefield, there's a guy who's naked with no armor and no weapons. That would be the agencies. They have no protections. In fact, you are fully protected. And so their only protection is just the fog of war, that illusion that you have to wait 7 years, that you have to wait 2 years. You know, that is really their only protection. And as soon as you break that down and you know how to have that conversation, then immediately within 30, 60, or 90 days, depending upon, you know, how many back and forths you have to do, everything, any derogatories or negative accounts on your credit report can and will be removed. So all these doubts or thoughts we have about like, oh, can I do it because of this? Can I do it because of that? Well, my situation is this, so can I do it? Everyone can do it. Everyone, regardless of your situation. If you have a doubt in your mind right now, well, I'm in this position, so can I do it? I'm in this position, so can I do it? Are you an American? Are you a citizen of a country? Are there credit reporting agencies? Well, then guess what? You can repair it because you're in control of your report, not the agencies. So I'll just wrap up there. So let's give you that little bit of confidence, that little bit of understanding, so you know that actually you are in control, full control, and those companies are not.
Yeah.
Just the illusion is the only thing that kind of gives you that idea.
And you're in full control when you become private and operate in the private as well. You know, you're in control all the way through. It wasn't one stage you have to hit that leads to the next. All three of the stages and pillars of the academy, you're in control, and it stays consistent from there. Latrice, thank you for your patience. Let's go to you.
Hello, how are you guys today?
Okay, Latrice, great to have you here.
It's good to be here. Well, it's not about me today. Ryan has definitely been my go-to. He's definitely been helping me a lot. I've had a lot of questions and he's been right there. So, thank you, Ryan. But I am asking, my husband is actually here. I'm in the credit program, but he He's at work, so he couldn't talk, but he's on here listening. But he had questions regarding verbiage, regarding the status correction. So when you contact, whether it's your county or your Secretary of State to see how to file your documents, what verbiage should we use to tell them? Because I know we can't go say, hey, I'm just trying to record my status correction. They're going to be like, what? So that's my question.
Just be like, hey, I got something to record. And they're going to be like, what do you got to record? I like this paperwork. What paperwork? This paperwork. Here you go. And you're like, what is it? I'm like, you can read it if you want. And they're like, I don't want to read it though. Then just record it.
Okay. Is that simple?
It's so simple. I honestly, if you want it to be easy, just go to Pima in Arizona County. That's a website, by the way, is Pima in Arizona County. You don't talk to no one. You just pay $30 and you upload the documents. And that's it. And it's recorded.
Even if I don't live there?
Oh, yeah. The county recorder, it doesn't matter. To get something recorded is just to put it on public notice. You can get it recorded in Florida or anywhere that you want. It doesn't have to be in your local state. You can get it reported anywhere. Pima County in Arizona is just the simplest. And even Patrick Devine went to Arizona all the time to get things recorded because they'll accept a ham sandwich if you want to get it recorded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I think that was all I had to ask you today.
Oh, cool. Glad to make it simple. Glad to make it simple. But yeah, super simple and great to do. Integrity design. Let's go to you.
Oh, I think somebody else is talking there.
It's all good. You're talking now.
Great. Thank you so much. You guys are the best thing on the internet, I swear. Both you guys, amazing. I love it. And
amazing.
Amazing. And I'm in the process of signing up as well. I talked to Ryan last week on the call.
Hey.
Awesome. Just awesome. So I have a quick question because I'm in some other groups as well, trying to corroborate and get this information straight. But because of the recent data breaches, some people in some other groups were saying you can leverage that. I don't know if it's CFPB, but how can you wipe off things off your credit based on a data breach that happened on all three of these platforms just recently to kind of boost your credit just by claiming that your identity and your information was accessed? What are rights and privileges there? If you don't want to give away the sauce, I get it, but is there a way and is it simple?
Yeah, definitely. That is definitely one way for sure, especially if information was leaked. I mean, there's a major one in 2017. I mean, it seems like almost every month or every week you hear another report of data breaches these days. Yeah. And the IRS had a massive data breach 2 months ago.
Right.
I think it was like from China or something. I mean, Bitcoin just had a data breach. Bybit, the crypto exchange, just lost $1.5 billion yesterday. So, you know, I think if you're into crypto, it's down 8%, I think 9%. Anyway, so there's constant data breaches all over the time, all over.
And Ryan, this is kind of what makes you an expert, because you're reading the newspaper to keep up with all this, so you can give your clients the latest information to utilize this in many strategies, you know, then find out how to improve their credit score. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a common tactic, Integrity. It's a really common practice. It does work. It's one of the best practices. There's a few steps involved, so I would not suggest using it unless you have the full process of how to utilize it.
Okay.
So you wouldn't just, let's say, for example, contact the agency and say, hey, there was data breach. I think I might have been a victim, so just get my stuff off my report. Right? It's not going to work. There's some steps involved. So, but yeah, if you want guidance on it, I don't do any sort of like private consults publicly, just because the pure nature of what I've seen is that people will take 1 or 2 steps and they'll try to do it and not get the result and say, hey, it doesn't work, or stuff like that. And I just try to make sure also everyone's process is custom. So depending upon what is on your report, you might need a different language. You might have to quote different statutes. Your situation might be slightly different than others. But I can definitely help you out with that for sure. And then to answer your question directly, absolutely. Yeah, so those data breaches can definitely be utilized in order to get stuff off your report. 100%.
Perfect. And to set up with you, is it Ryan@creditoracademy.com to get the private consult?
Yeah.
Okay.
Send it
Because
over.
I did some stuff that worked to boost my FICO score, and all it was just referencing certain codes and statutes that did work. But this one seems to be bigger than that, so I want to make sure I get the right advice here. Thank you very much.
We call that a sticky account.
Sticky.
We call it a
Okay.
sticky account. Yeah, we'll get that one removed for you. No worries at all.
Thanks,
Yep.
brother. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Love it. Love it. Well, everybody that has been viewing on YouTube, I hope that this has been an educational experience as we're talking about not only getting into the private, but getting you Remedy today. And Remedy is really just is all about your communication and helping and getting the support that you need to help you communicate what it is properly to these authorities to get things removed off your credit report, to know how to operate in the private, or really even to get yourself in the private in the first place. The 3 pillars of the Academy are the foundation of this truth movement. I've been in this truth movement for years and years. I mean, it's almost been 4 years now since I got started. But I'm here to tell you, out of all the channels I've watched, all the books that I read, all the case law that I have studied, these are the foundations of your learning. And if you master just the foundation, your life is set. You can really do anything. So once again, the pillars are: become private. 2 is learn to operate privately. And 3 is build your unlimited private credit. If you want more information on how to join the Academy, go to creditoracademy.com, fill out the contact us form, and a representative will reach out to you. You can also email us or call our hotline number. If you would like to join the after hours, meaning you get to connect with many individuals here that are live in this class right now, you go to creditoracademy.com and hit the live button, join live button, and you will be brought live so you can have your questions answered here. We hang out in the after hours to do exactly that. But thank you for everybody for joining us on YouTube. If you have not joined our private Facebook group, our YouTube channel, or subscribed to our Rumble, X account, or TikTok, now would be the time to do it. But I look forward to seeing everybody again this Thursday live once again. Until next time, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, Michael.
Bye. Bye-bye. And we're in the after hours. That easy. Isn't that amazing?